Hello everyone, my name is Gio and this is Brew Better. For today, I'm brewing a coffee from Marites Arellano. This is a lactic fermented Catimor variety. Now, Marites Arellano won as the champion for the 2019 PCQC competition. I'll be brewing this coffee using an April dripper. And my recipe for this amazing coffee is that I'm using 16 grams of coffee, pre-ground at 8.5 using our EK. At the same time, in a comandante, this is converted into 23 clicks in a comandante. And I'll be pouring 240 ml of water. My water temperature is set at 94 degrees Celsius. At the same time, our hardness for this water that fits this coffee is around 80 ppm. Now, let's start brewing. So our brewing technique for this coffee is that we will be pouring it into 4 different pours of 60 ml. And my preferred recipe for this coffee is that I'll be pouring 60 ml with an interval of 25 seconds. And then after 25 seconds, we pour our next 60 ml. What we've observed with coffees from Marites Arellano that is processed with an extended process is that it works well when the coffee bed breathes or when the coffee bed dries up a little bit, and then we pour our next volume of water. Now in the 25th second, we poured our second 60 ml. So to explain better about this process is that lactic acid fermentation uses anaerobic fermentation, and specifically, it converts glucose and carbohydrates to lactic acid. And now, we'll pour our 60 ml. And what does that add up to the final cup? It helps the coffee become more complex in terms of its acidity. At the same time, it also adds up a layer of tactility or texture in the body of the coffee. And now, at 1 minute and 40 seconds, we'll pour our last pour of 60 ml. So what do we normally do is we just pour from the side and then a little bit in the center. So our flow rate when we brew this coffee is that the sweet spot is around 8 to 10 ml per second. My total brewing time for this coffee is about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to 2 minutes and 45 seconds for the coffee bed to dry up. Now this coffee is an experimental processed coffee by Marites. Now how did Marites process this coffee? After picking the cherries, she placed these cherries inside a plastic barrel and then let it go through an anaerobic fermentation. But she also added a lactic acid powder, and that's her recipe for this coffee. After 5 days of fermentation, she moved it to dry for about 20 days. Now let's enjoy the coffee. So from the aroma, you can smell that it's a coffee that went through an extended processing. It also has hints of chocolate truffle, which is quite amazing. It also has that smell of mandarin orange, which is a signature profile for coffees from Marites. Now let's enjoy this coffee. For this coffee, the initial profile that we taste is you're like tasting cacao, at the same time eating brownies. And the aftertaste has a passion fruit, which is a very clear passion fruit. This is when the coffee is hot. It also has that hazelnut or nutty profile. And surprisingly, now that the coffee has cooled a little bit, it has a profile of crème brulée as an aftertaste, which is amazing. So this is a coffee wherein you can really see that processing is helping in aiding the variety, which is a Catimor variety, and elevating it into a greater height by making it more complex. So our huge congratulations to Marites for producing this amazing coffee. Always remember that your best coffee is a coffee that suits you. It should be something that you personally prefer. Feel free to share with us your brewing experience with this coffee. At the same time, what you taste in this amazing Philippine coffee. Cheers and don't stop brewing.